Getting a fresh deal at Subway has never been
Why are you
easier.
so loud,
Just buy any
Subway?
footlong in the app,
I'm
get
not eating
another
your
free.
foot long, bro.
Our little girl's growing up so fast.
Is it Inside Out too?
Expanding the place. You know, for the others.
Oh god, it's starting the video off with an Overwatch meme. Oh Jesus.
Insects are one of the most broken factions the game has ever seen.
Oh Jesus
Nowhere else in
Christ.
nature will you find such an incredible concentration of abilities that are not only overpowered, but also extremely
Damn.
unique. It's tough to even know where to start when talking about what makes insects such a successful group, because in a lot of cases, it's
Didn't you
not
say your
just that
sister
their
ate all the
individual
steak?
abilities are overpowered, but
Something
some
like
of them
that?
feel like they should be mutually exclusive, since they're just insanely OP when used in combination with one
27
another.
minutes?
You'll see
Sheesh.
what I mean once I get into the tier list, but first, a brief overview of the insect faction's general attributes and history. Insects were added to the game during the early
Yeah,
Carboniferous
they took it back up a
expansion. The devs bumped up the atmospheric oxygen level, which allowed members of the arthropod faction to adopt larger sizes and more costly abilities. And while most of the arthropod player base was trying to dominate the land by leveling
Oh my
up their
God.
size, a small offshoot of the crustacean player base opted to forego the gigantism.
Yo, low-key, this just reminded me, I gotta play Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls games. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I don't know if I do it on stream, but I gotta play it.
Trait, and instead used this oxygen bonus to unlock an ability never before seen in game: flight. Because these new creatures were the very first to gain the ability to fly, the air became entirely their domain for the time being, and would remain that way until reptiles unlocked the ability several expansions later. Insects are extremely diverse in their abilities and
Oh my
stat
God.
spreads. In fact, they're so diverse that it's impossible to include them all in a single video. I'll be keeping things fairly generalized.
Just clip the
but truth
subway
be told,
thing?
many of the
What subway thing? I didn't say anything. Y'all always trying to catch me slipping, bro. Everything that y'all clip is AI generated. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
groups I'll be
It's not
discussing
real, bro.
today have so many standout members that they could easily be an entire tier list in and of themselves. So it's a little tough to pin down their general attributes, but there are
Can't
a few
believe this.
commonalities. Being members of the arthropod faction, all insects are granted the exoskeletal armor perk, which greatly raises their AC compared to soft-bodied builds of similar sizes, with the only downside being a massive
AI be
reduction
getting
in those
freaky,
same
that's what I'm
defensive
saying.
stats for a short time.
I'll
every
be
time the
saying
player
nothing.
levels up.
I be
This makes
chilling.
insects quite tanky on average, allowing them to excel in combat. The insect build also has access to the compound
Yo, why is it looking at me like that? What is it trying to get into?
eyes perk, which grants them vastly improved awareness compared to
Armored Core?
scorpions and centipedes. With 360
Nah, that's not
degree
me.
vision, their
Yeah, 20
ability
minutes
to
ago,
avoid obstacles,
like, it
dodge
drifted out of
attacks,
reality
and
into
pursue
your
targets while
ah.
flying is far
Damn.
superior to most other flyers. This enhanced perception perk is important because insects tend to have naturally high stealth. So in order to compete with other insect builds, acute vision is required. We've only just scratched the surface of the insane abilities insects have access to though. For a more in-depth look, let's get into the tier list. At the bottom of the tier list, we have the silverfish. The silverfish is the most primitive insect build still in existence. It kind of blurs the line between what is and is not considered an insect, and not in a good way. Unlike other flightless insects, which decided to respec and
Silverfish
drop
are so
flight
gross.
ability in favor of more refined
These look
strategies,
weird.
the silverfish build actually never had access to it in the first place. Aside from having an exoskeleton, they don't really have any of the abilities that make insects powerful. They do not have wings and have essentially no combat abilities. They have fairly low defenses and get bodied left and right by pretty much everything, with their only useful stat being their decently
Why are you watching an insect tier list, cut? It's peak. I like it so far.
high movement speed.
I see the vision.
Their special ability allows them to gain XP from eating cellulose and lignin, meaning they can farm XP from wooden structures, which normally don't grant any experience. This ability would be fairly powerful in forest biomes, but because they're such weak combatants, they tend to actually stick to urban areas, feeding on things like
Yikes.
paper and cloth, in the relative safety of houses, apartments, and office spaces. Even there, they aren't completely safe though. And while no build is ever truly safe in the insect meta, the silverfish's extreme lack of useful abilities places
my
it
God.
firmly in F tier. That's honestly the only insect build I believe deserves an F tier ranking. Most insects are quite viable, and even the less viable ones tend to have at least a few useful things going for them, even if those things aren't necessarily broken.
Jesus, terrible time for an ad. Oh my god. Yo, chat, when I play Dark Souls, I'm about to rock the Silverfish build. You're not seeing me. I'm gonna make it work. Why was she so loud, though? Like, there's no need for you to be groaning like that. And come on, dog, I'm streaming. Like,
Are so heavy it hurts. If
hate these advertisements.
First in D tier, we have the Phasmid build, which includes walking sticks and leaf mimics. These builds sport what are unquestionably some of the most impressive camouflage abilities in the entire game, second only to color-changing builds like the Octopus and Chameleon. As impressive as these are, though, the question I constantly end up asking is this really necessary? Because with the exception of insects which deliberately lower their stealth as part of the aposematic coloration strategy, insects as a whole already have an above-average stealth, and are usually able to maintain this while still speccing into other equally impressive abilities. Their camouflage can only take them so far, while they're near undetectable while remaining motionless. Walking sticks still need to move to find food, and while they do mimic the movement of
yeah, he kind of hitting that. He kind of hitting that.
Perfect.
Wait.
In fact, if they're ever caught in an environment where camouflage doesn't match, their instincts to sway and move can actually end up giving.
Yo, he's hitting that. Wait.
Their position away even more, rather than
Oh my
aiding their attempts to
god.
hide. Some
That's what I'd be doing at the
possess
function.
chemical defenses, but as we'll see further up the tier list, this attack is quite mild compared to the heat some other insects are packing. Phasmids have a similar game plan to sloths, complete with all the major flaws this strategy is riddled with.
I hate
Although at
sloths
least
so
Phasmids
much.
don't completely forego all common sense and make a dangerous trek to the forest floor once a week just to poop. Next in D tier, we have the Lepidopterans.
Stick bug emote win? I don't know. I might have to make one though.
At first glance,
Just because of that.
like
That was funny.
tier builds. They're among the most vulnerable builds in the game when it comes to combat, with extremely squishy defensive stats and utterly abysmal offensive abilities. Many of the larval forms of these builds are 100% defenseless and have a mobility stat in the single digits, literally the freest kills in the game. However, the
Who is
Lepid player
moaning?
base
Not
is
me.
quite
Not
crafty
I.
and has come up with a few ways of at least sort of mitigating their many weaknesses. Caterpillars and adult lepids alike can adopt quite convincing disguises, some designed to help them blend in, and some designed to intimidate. Granted, these strategies often don't hold up against high intelligence builds, but it does help. Some caterpillars spec into quite potent defenses, like spines and toxins, which make them simply not worth the potential damage to take on. And credit where credit is due, even though they still are fairly defenseless, butterflies and moths do have excellent mobility, and can fly much greater distances than most insect builds. This enables them to avoid high conflict areas of the map, and reach higher quality loot that might be too rare for most players to rely on. Their massive wings, in addition to being highly customizable for a variety of stealth or intimidation purposes,
You hate hairy
also just
caterpillars?
make them look much larger than insects of comparable
Who's
body
more? You
sizes,
clipped that,
which
bro. No
helps
shot.
dissuade attacks.
No shot. No shot. No shot. Now I actually gotta see. Now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. Hairy caterpillars are cool though. If anything, I hate hairy spiders. Hairy spiders gotta go.
Ultimately, lepids still take plenty of L's, and most high-tier insect builds have quite oppressive matchups against them, so they're definitely a below-average faction. That's actually it for D tier, and I know it might seem like we're moving up the tier list quickly, but again, insects are a massively successful faction, and are going to be concentrated in the higher tiers. At the bottom of C tier, we have the cockroach. The cockroach is the ultimate survivor, which opted to spec into mobility, stealth, and a multitude of
Oh my god.
elemental resistances.
There's
in
4
lieu of
clips
any
out of this
offensive
stream so far.
abilities.
Wow.
While they don't pack much heat, their flat
Wow.
shape allows them to easily wedge themselves into locations that are
Yikes.
extremely difficult for other players to attack them in. They're rather clumsy flyers,
Yikes.
but they do have an
Oh,
above-average
wow.
movement speed, enabling them to quickly scurry to cover if they see a predator player approaching. However, when caught out in the open or back,
Is this about cockroaches? I wasn't paying
they're
attention.
fairly helpless and
I don't wanna
easily
go back,
one of the
though.
most vulnerable builds in the entire insect faction. They're also somewhat carried by
Ew.
human mains, making temperate and tundra servers viable for them, because really, as impressive as their toxin and radiation resistance abilities are,
Wait, there's a
they're
new
quite
Transformers
vulnerable
1
to the
poster?
cold and would still
looks
be
crazy.
mostly confined to jungle servers, if not for humans unlocking the fire control ability.
I kind of want to...
The biggest variance may be
Hold up. It's fine. 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 Let me see. Let me search it through Elon's app. Transformers 1. Real quick. Wait, is this it? Wait. Do not leak our DMs. We don't DM. Is what I would say. If, anyway, yeah, is this it, bro? If so, I'm gonna have to make this the background of my phone or something. You know. Oh, I see that DM. See that freak. This is hard. Oh my god, he made a textless 4K version. Oh my god. Oh, I'm about to. Oh, that's not it? That's not it? What? How do I not follow him? The fuck? Wait. Was this it? Jazz is in the movie. Yo, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh my god. What are these? Little postcards? The other one goes harder though? What? Iacon City? Iacon 5000. Oh, they racing. They got their own league. Yeah, I can't wait to see this movie, bro. I can't wait to see it. All right, I'll check it out. Back to the video, though. Back to the video.
able to tank 1 or 2 hits, but even then, with no way to fight back, they're still pretty screwed if they fail to outright escape a fight.
Ew, earwigs, I saw that.
Making your thing happen. Really going for it.
Ew, I hate these
Here we have
things.
the earwig, a fearsome-looking generalist build, which appears to have a giant pair of mandibles on its rear end, called Circe. As fearsome as these Circe forceps are, if we actually check the earwig's base stats, we quickly notice that, just like all of its other stats, its power stat is actually quite mediocre. As menacing as the Circe are, the actual piercing damage they can deal is fairly minimal, and can even be deflected by the most basic of armor. And even against builds without armor, the damage is so low that larger builds still don't really need to be wary of approaching.
Oh, that
the
is
earwig,
hard.
and can attack without restraint. Still, just because they can doesn't mean they do, as the earwig's intimidation
hard as
factor
hell.
alone is oftentimes enough to protect it from conflict. And credit where credit is due, the force
You say you call it earwig scissories down here in Brazil? Huh. Earwigs are nasty. They're so gross. Why do they look like that? They're fucking gross, bro.
are actually fairly decent in matchups against soft-bodied insects, and allow the earwig to carry their targets much better than they could with their jaws.
Oh my god.
And while it may seem silly to have opted for rear-facing weapons instead of the more typical
That just looks
forward-facing
gross.
ones, like mandibles and rostrums, the position does actually serve a purpose, in that it allows earwigs far greater access to burrows and tight spaces, where they can hide.
You had
out
one in
and
your
avoid
ear once?
conflict
Are you
altogether.
serious?
Of all of the weapons insects have access to, Circe might be some of the most unorthodox, which probably contributes to its ability to intimidate other players. However, I think to get out of mid-tier, earwigs need to actually have the ability to back up their threat display. They would do well to spec into some sort of venom. Venom-infused stings are a fairly
Ew.
common attribute for insects, so this feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. So, while certainly a viable mid-tier, don't overestimate this build's abilities.
Crickets
At
and
the top of C tier, we've got
grasshoppers.
the
Hell
orthopterans,
yeah.
including grasshoppers, crickets, and katydids.
The
These are the
pelican
first
spider?
mobility-centric builds on our
Isn't that
list.
the spider with the
While they're
weird,
quite
like,
capable
the
flyers, their
mandibles and
true
that, like,
power comes
they're
from their
long and they
saltatorial
bend forward
hind
or
legs
something?
rather than their wings. Flight is
I
an
think I seen a
excellent
picture of that
defensive
once.
ability,
I
as
never
it
want to look
allows
at it
the user
again.
to get out of reach of an attack's range. but this utility is lessened if their ability to get airborne has too much startup lag. And so instead of using their wings to get themselves
It's
up
probably
into
going to be in
air,
the spider tier
a
list.
powerful
I
jump
don't know if I
enables
want to watch that
Neuropteran
one though.
wings
I'm
to
not
escape
gonna lie.
vertically at
I'm
instant
not gonna
speed.
lie.
Their excellent vision makes it extremely difficult to get within striking
wow.
range without alerting them. And because their jump has such excellent frame data, landing an ambush strike on a
Frame
Neuropteran
data?
can feel near impossible at times. And even if a player does manage to secure a grab, their powerful hind legs can function as
God.
quite an effective combo break.
Oh my
The
god.
spines on their legs augments the damage their kicks can deal, meaning that if a
Cordyceps
grasshopper
spider
can take the
clip.
first few hits of an ambush attack,
I don't know if I want to do that.
I don't
know if I wanna do that, bro.
Serious damage to the attacker. With that said, I think there are a few flaws in their strategy, which I think keeps them out of the upper tier.
A new species was recently discovered in the region of Australia I live in. You're cooked. 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 It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. You might have to write your own obituary or something because you might be finished. Don't do it. Do it. Don't. I don't know.
Grasshoppers can jump so far that there's
I
really
know
no
what
way of knowing
cordyceps
sort of
is.
situation they're about to put themselves in. In
I know what
similar manner to
cordyceps is,
flying
bro.
fish, using such a drastic escape option can sometimes end up putting
Izzy,
you in
it's
a worse
cool. That's a
position than you
zombie
were before,
mushroom disease thing.
especially if your
Not
local
really.
meta has a lot of spider.
Not really, but yes and no at the same time. But like, I know what it is. I know what it is. I don't know.
And although they do present a challenge, most Predator players aren't disrupted by the Grasshopper's kicks and can either
You call me a
tank the
pussy?
damage
I am what I
outright
eat.
or one-hit the Grasshopper before it even has a chance to retaliate. At the bottom of B tier, we have the Hemipterans, a diverse order of insects. with a few things in
Oil
common,
up is crazy.
generally having high defense
Oh,
and
whoa,
being
whoa,
somewhat
whoa.
shield-shaped. However, the most notable thing is that rather than slicing or pinching mouth parts, the Hemiptera build opts for a piercing rostrum, perfect for puncturing through tough surfaces. For the majority of Hemipteran builds, this allows them to farm XP from sources that are normally hard to access, like the energy-dense sap inside trees and stems, or the starch inside of seeds. However, there are some Hemipterans which
What
use their
is
sharp
that?
rostrum to deliver a venomous bite that is able to pierce through armored targets.
Oh, wow.
Their venom is powerful enough to one-shot just about any other insect, and can even deal severe damage to larger builds. The only major shortcoming here is that
Is that an
these
assassin
so-called
bug?
assassin bugs
Oh,
tend
yeah,
to
I caught it.
actually have fairly
Caught
low
it. Chat. I'm just like that. I'm just like that for real. I'm just like that. I'm just like that. I'm just like that. Me and Tears are on the same wavelength, bro. I knew this was an assassin bug before you even called it out, and I'm just different. I'm just different. I'm just different.
stealth, opting for the aposematic intimidation defense I mentioned earlier. And on top of all that, they have fairly
I'm gonna pause this video. I'm gonna look at a thumbnail of it. What is it called? Hell no. Nope, we good. Going back to this. Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
and their defense
I lost where we were.
targets. Their venom is powerful enough to one-shot just about any other insect, and can even deal severe damage to larger builds. The only major shortcoming here is that these so-called assassin bugs tend to actually have fairly low stealth, opting for the aposematic intimidation defense I mentioned earlier. And on top of all that, they have fairly low mobility, making actually
You're lucky you
ambushing
got a
another player
sub, 'cause
kinda
I ban
difficult
you.
if they're actually paying enough attention to simply dodge the attacks and flee. Some do break this trend though, and opt for both better camouflage and high aquatic mobility, making them some of the most fearsome aquatic builds in the game. On the herbivore side of things, Hemipterans tend to fare a bit worse. They usually still have fairly low mobility and low
Eee.
stealth, and
What the
their
neck do,
defenses may
though?
be higher than the average, but are nowhere near as impenetrable as some of the builds higher on this list. They tend to rely on a chemical defense similar to some phasmids, which is where they get the name stink bugs from.
Ew.
However, similar to phasmids, these defenses also tend to be a bit lacking and often fail to deter attackers. So certainly a group with some standout members and fine for XP farming, but still nothing too broken.
Lacewings and
topping off B
antlions.
tier we have the Neuroptera, a rather clumsy build with some pretty
You love these
pathetic-looking
streams, no
base
glazing?
stats. Genuinely
We just
one
be
of the
chilling.
least agile flyers in the entire game.
We just be chilling.
However, looking at the final form of this build paints a highly misleading picture of its capabilities.
Kind of wish that more people would tap in, you know what I mean? People don't want to download Twitch for some reason. I don't get it, but you know,
larval
it's
form,
fine.
which is the form they spend the vast majority of their time as, is a brutally effective predator build for any player who prefers the camping playstyle. Taking a look at the larva's stats, we see that they have incredibly high power and stealth for
Antlions
their
from
size.
Half-Life 2,
Antlions
brother.
have a devastating venomous bite, which they use to
My
one-shot
face when I
unsuspecting
realize an
players
enemy in the game
before
is based
draining
off an
all their
animal
life
in real
points with their
life.
hollow jaws. Because of their ability to construct pitfall traps, their passive stealth rating is extremely high, making their ambush playstyle unbelievably effective. As if escape wasn't hard enough, once the prey gets caught in their trap, the antlion even has the ability to launch projectiles to stun its target, making escape a
The
near
day stars,
impossibility.
really?
I have an entire video dedicated to the overpowered abilities of Neuropteran larvae, but in short, they are what the earwig pretends to be. If you took the earwig's Circe, put them in front and made them sharper and gave them deadly venom to boot,
Jesus.
you'd have an antlion. So why the weak adult form? Having spent all their evolution points optimizing their larval
So, based off where this video is going, I think I have an idea what's in S tier. I'm not going to spoil it for myself. I kind of spoiled it with this section we're on right now by accident. I at least know praying mantis are in S tier. That's all I know.
form, they spend hardly any time
Oh,
at
no,
all
no, no,
as
no, 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 no.
adults.
Wait. I'm going to predict it. Praying mantis, centipedes. It might be one other thing, or it might be two other things. I don't really remember the format of the tier list, but something like that. Something like that. Those two are at least up there somewhere.
They don't even have the ability to eat in this form, and really only exist to be a vessel that allows players to find each other and complete the
Fun
mating
fact, you can't
quest
stream
line,
Uno on
something
Xbox?
they
Why
lack the
not?
ability
What the
to
hell?
do in their much less mobile larval form. So while I do think it'd be more impressive if they didn't take such a massive cut to their power level during their final level up, there's no denying that for the vast majority of their playtime, these builds are an absolute menace to encounter.
Wait, there's three.
At the bottom of A tier, we have a personal favorite of mine, the mantis.
Huh.
Mantises have a fairly
So I'm wrong. So Mantis is in the A tier. So what's an S then? Now I'm curious.
straightforward playstyle consisting of slashing and grabbing their targets using powerful spiked raptorial forelimbs. If we take a look at the mantis' stats, we see that the mantis has one of the highest base power stats of any non-venomous insect.
I hate to keep pausing the video, but wait. What about? I know there's like a species of like wasp, a tarantula wasp out there. Would that be up there? Would that be considered like S tier? Cause I don't know.
It also has a stealth stat similar to that of a walking stick.
Okay, one more. All right, last pause. My bad. I should probably upload this segment of the stream to the other channel. Low key. IZZIMANDIAS reacts to the insect tier list. Let's go.
Which it desperately needs in order to be able to get within striking range of its targets.
We
Its
finally do
constant flight
reaction
and slow
content,
down
bro.
Movement speed makes chasing prey basically impossible. However, what they lack in movement speed, they easily make up for with strike speed. The mantis' strike is lightning quick, to the point that it's easily able to hit targets that are normally considered
He got him.
hopelessly evasive.
Jesus.
As powerful as these strikes are, one weakness of this strategy is that the grappling attack doesn't immobilize the target, and actually brings them within range of a counterattack. And while the mantis' large size enables it to tank most counterattacks,
This just makes me want to play a
attacking
Souls
venomous
game.
target can end up
Oh
being a
my
serious
God.
blunder for a mantis player. So definitely a powerful high tier predator, but not one that's so invincible that mantis mains can get careless.
True
Next
fly.
in A tier, we
Why?
have the flies. This does get a bit confusing due to the amount of other builds that use the word fly.
Why are they so high up? Why? Oh, mosquitoes. Okay, as much as I hate them, I kind of understand, but I forget they're in the same family as true flies, though. I be forgetting that. But what about dragonflies? Fuck lanternflies. These things are invasive. Kill these whenever you see lanternflies, by the way. But why?
Fly in their name. But this group, the true flies, are defined by a very specific feature. True flies only have 2 wings. This might seem like a major trade-off, but while it does leave them more vulnerable to having their flight ability disabled
Oh,
from taking
I
damage,
know you heard her
the power of them
cracking
unlocking
some.
their
My bad. I
attack
was
is
messing
more
with my
than worth the
goatee. My
risk.
fault. My
Instead
fault.
of a second pair of wings, flies swap them out for halteres, a sensory structure that grants flies an insanely powerful buff to their aerial maneuverability and their evasion. Their superior aerobatics make them all but impossible to land a hit on midair, and also enables predator fly variants, such as the robber fly, to launch incredibly precise attacks mid-flight.
Oh my god.
And take down targets that would normally be too powerful to confront head-on, but are unable to effectively counterattack during flight. However, most flies are either scavengers or parasites, using their quick mobility and superior reaction speed to weave past the defenses and avoid the sweeping counterattacks of larger players. While they do have an extremely short lifespan, there's no denying that they make the most of the time they do have, and are one of the
As
most
fun. Wait, I gotta pause. As fun as watching Gravity Falls was, I feel like I definitely think Disney is gonna clap me if I kept that stream up. I ain't gonna lie. I'll watch it tomorrow. I definitely want to keep the stream bot up though, because Disney be weird with copyright. So
efficient and evasive builds in the entire game. But while flies are excellent aerial combatants, they're no match for the ultimate aerial hunter build.
okay, dragonflies.
Fly
Okay,
is similar
okay.
to the crocodile.
I know,
Well
bro.
optimized PvP builds that has ever existed in the game.
Optimized
It's already such an
PvP
efficient
builds.
build that across several balance patches and game expansions,
I don't know why
the
Automod
Dragonflies
got you,
see
but yeah,
very
they
few changes to
are.
its core strategy. They simply aren't necessary, as the Dragonfly
Them
is
fuckers at
already
Disney,
equipped to
bro.
deal with just about
I
anything
ain't
it
messing
does
with that.
throw at it.
I ain't
So
messing
what
with
is it
them.
about the Dragonfly that has given it such a competitive edge? Dragonflies have the best aerial maneuverability of any build in the game, and the highest top flight speed of any insect. Unlike most insects, dragonflies have spec'd into the ability to
Where
move
is
their
this
wings
music from?
independently of each other, which grants them the ability to move in any direction without needing to turn and face that
I hear it
direction,
all the time, but I
meaning they can
never
strafe mid-flight
found out
and even
what
fly
game it's from.
backwards. This ability makes their flight
I
more
got some of
energetically
my
demanding
goatee.
than it is for other insects. So this is a high commitment, high reward playstyle. In order to ensure a proper payoff for their incredible agility, dragonflies have also spec'd into what is arguably the best vision of any arthropod. Extremely large, high-resolution eyes that take up basically their entire head, granting them full 360-degree vision. This allows them to track all potential targets around them with ease, and allows
my
them
God.
to see attacks coming long before they're actually at risk of getting hit. Unlike many of the other builds on this list, which either have a powerful larval form but a weak adult form, or a powerful adult form that can only achieve this after enduring an extremely vulnerable early game, the dragonfly is a high-tier predator in both forms.
Jesus.
While everyone knows they dominate the skies when they reach their max level, what you might not know is that as nymphs, dragonflies are one of the most vicious aquatic builds in the game, able to one-shot similarly sized fish and amphibian players. Now, while it was tempting to put dragonflies in S tier, they do have a few shortcomings.
Think they're doing a
While they
Skyrim
are
stream tomorrow?
generally
Go
able
for
to
it.
see approaching predators before it's too late, they aren't particularly good at avoiding accidentally flying into dangerous situations. They're easily trapped by spiderwebs and are often snatched out of the air when flying too close to another player. In addition, dragonflies cannot walk, meaning that their energy-expensive flight ability is their only option if they need to reposition themselves. Not that devastating of a weakness, but it's enough that this ancient build can't
Okay,
quite break.
okay. So Centipede's obvious S tier contender. Obvious. They're up there for sure. So what are the other two spots for? Bees, maybe? Bees? Bees and wasps, perhaps? That entire family, I guess. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. He better not say mosquitoes. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed off if he put mosquitoes in S tier. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad. But for sure, like a solidified spot, Centipede's gotta be like tip of S. For sure.
Break into S tier.
Beetle.
S
Obvious.
tier we have the beetle.
How did I not
The
get
beetle
this?
is the epitome of the insect build. a bunch of extraordinarily powerful abilities that seem like they shouldn't really function properly when used in conjunction with each other, yet somehow actually end up synergizing unbelievably well. Beetles are the premier tanks of the insect faction, with an outer cuticle sturdy enough to deflect just about any attack with ease. It has such a high AC that it can confidently plow through a swarm of aggressive ants without taking any damage, something that even many reptiles and amphibians can't get away with. Now, typically when a build is heavily invested into defenses
That's a stag
like
beetle.
this,
That's a
it
pincer.
has to make a lot of
Little
sacrifices
Pokemon
in its
reference.
other stats. This is the opposite of what we see in the beetle build, as in addition to being the most heavily armored insect in the game, it also excels in several other metrics. The most obvious of which is its power stat. Beetles can obliterate their enemies in combat using powerful jaws and explosive chemical weapons. Their ability to bulldoze opponents with their forward-facing weaponry is hard to overstate, but in my opinion, their real damage potential comes from beetles which possess the ability to blast their attackers with a toxic or acidic chemical burst.
Jesus
But
Christ.
that's not where the craziness stops, because although you'd probably expect a high-power tank to be a slow, lumbering build, beetles also possess the top terrestrial movement speed of any insect. And if that weren't enough, despite often having heavy horns or giant mandibles, packing a tank full of noxious chemicals, being clad in heavy armor, and strapped with enough muscle to move objects far, far above their weight class, the beetle is still able to fly without much issue. Now, they did sacrifice one of their sets of wings for additional armor, so they can't perform the advanced aerobatics that dragonflies and houseflies can. But the ability to get from point A to point B via flight is still extremely valuable, both for escaping danger and for reaching valuable points of interest. In short, beetles have essentially every ability they could ask for. They are
Centipedes are not considered insects? Are you serious? I didn't know that. There's no shot. 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 There is no shot. There's no shot. There's no shot. Oh my god, they're arthropods, bro. Close enough. Freaking enough, bro. Close enough. 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 Anyway.
An amalgamation of everything that makes the insect faction so powerful, and so it's no surprise that beetle species comprise.
Oh, brother, I did not know that.
Species
I did not know that.
They're so versatile and adaptable that a beetle player can find a niche in essentially
That's that
any
American
server.
ignorance.
They
On
truly
God, it
are the
is. That's that
ultimate insect
cheeseburger
and
brain.
deserve a tier list of their own. As incredible as this combination of powerful abilities is, ultimately the beetle is still lacking the most powerful insect ability of them all: eusociality. Now,
This is
I have
fucking
an
mocking
entire
me.
video
You're a
dedicated to
bitch.
explaining just how broken this ability is, and there's no question that the insects that incorporate it into their game plan simply dominate all in their path.
Termites.
Now,
Ooh.
technically, termites are a variant of the
Okay, so if termites are an S, then clearly ants got to be number one. Clearly.
cockroach build. But they have such a unique and powerful playstyle that lumping them in with mid-tier cockroaches seems disingenuous. The termite queen is the
Damn, I'm
longest-lived
fucking
insect in the
stupid.
game, with a lifespan near that of
How did I not predict this? How did I not predict that ants would be number one? How did I not predict this, bro? Brother.
elephant. And it spends these many decades building one of the most powerful armies the game has
What
ever
was it,
seen.
1143?
These termite
I probably got
armies
time to
quickly
watch one more
construct
video.
some of the
I probably got
most
to call it there.
well-fortified bases in the game, giving even beaver dams and human skyscrapers a run for their money. Not only do they build incredible bases, but
Y'all wanna
termites
watch one more
literally
tier list by
transform the map
Tierzu
in order to better optimize
before I head
their colony's
out?
ability to gather resources. They will pave paths and build ramps and bridges to important resource deposits. This efficiency allows them to support a huge army and command vast territories. Termites, despite being most closely related to cockroaches, have a combat style that is actually most similar to the spitting cobra.
Oh my god.
If you've seen my snake
Suggestions
list,
of
you know
suggestions.
is also a
Fuck.
top-tier build. Termites can accurately fire acid from a needle-like horn on their face, dealing heavy damage to anything caught in its blast. Some termites opt for giant slicing jaws instead of acid sprayers on their head, and are crucial for defending their base from an onslaught of invaders. Termites are a somewhat imbalanced build, with crazy powerful
Jesus
forward-facing
Christ.
weaponry,
Why is
but
your head so
extremely
big?
vulnerable abdomens with no armor at all. This means that oftentimes, despite a larger size, they are quickly overwhelmed if they get outnumbered and flanked. Not usually an issue, as termites are proficient at defending in a phalanx formation which covers the weak points of individual members. So certainly not a bad enough weakness to negate the top tier status
Why
of
did he look like
eusociality.
that?
But this weakness does mean that I gotta give the top spot to the other eusocial insect faction.
Ants.
Hymenoptera.
Okay. He put ants, bees, and wasps into the same cat. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Group of insects that includes
That makes
ants,
sense.
bees, and wasps. Unlike termites, these insects are a bit more well-rounded. Having
So
decent
technically, I
armor
was
all
half
over,
right.
and tend to have both forward and
I was half right because I did mention bees and wasps would probably be up here too. I did. So, all right, that's fine.
facing weaponry, with most hymenopterans packing strong jaws and a venomous stinger. The wasp's signature buzz and yellow banding are so infamous that almost every other insect faction in the game has at least a few members trying to replicate it to gain advantage on their own intimidation checks. Eusocial hymenopterans can build extremely complicated structures without the use of tools.
Actually, 1/3 right.
They
You can
launch
suck it.
organized
How about that?
attacks containing thousands of combatants.
Ugh.
Cross major barriers
Ugh.
and control territory to an absolutely incredible degree. Thousands of players will lay down their lives in defense of a colony if need be. Ants in particular are masters of both empire building and military tactics, often having to wage war on multiple fronts while undertaking large construction and agricultural projects in their own territory.
Whoops, forgot my
So,
mouse was
while
down
beetles
there.
may take up a larger percentage of total insect
Okay.
termites and ants
Pause. Whoa, buddy. Whoa. It's 11:47. It's 11:47. I'm just gonna finish this
outnumber
video.
any other insect build. And while I don't base my tier lists purely off of population, there's no denying that the abundance of these insects is due to their incredibly powerful strategies and their ability to bend their environment to their advantage. In fact, the only genuine threats to you social players tend to be invaders disguising themselves as members of their own colony, but are really there to disrupt, steal, and attack. Many
Ew.
spider, hemiptera, and mantis mains adopt this
His
strategy
mandibles look inappropriate, bro.
and are incredibly successful in doing so. As the ant troops forage and browse unknown territory, the parasites weave their way into their ranks. Something similar happens when you browse the internet without using NordVPN. the sponsor
Okay,
of today's video.
okay. Good
As you
video.
browse,
Okay, we ended it there. Good video though. Good video. No free clout though. No free clout. But I see the vision.